Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high, cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold up, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live, somebody. Let's go.
Good morning. Good afternoon and good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys are all doing well out there. Hope the show finds you in good spirits, because another day above the dirt, or above the snow, in this case, is always a blessing. We got quite a bit to talk about here. This is just terrible. And there is stuff that I cannot show you guys. I'm waiting for some sort of reports to be done here very, very soon. But unfortunately, we have a developing situation happening in Minneapolis right now as we speak. And I'm just gonna I'm gonna cut this music really quick. I just saw the footage, and this is not good. I'll explain everything in just a little bit. But oh my God. This is where we're at. This is where we're at. I did not want this to happen, but I said it. So I said it before. It's only going to get worse here now. And I know for a fact there's already going to be protests and, demonstrations even erupting even more after this situation. My heart breaks for this situation because this is bad. Really bad. So please do me a favor. Before we get into everything, hit that like button down below. Crush it. Do what it do. Hit that reaction button if you're watching on these other platforms. If you are watching on these other platforms like Facebook, X/Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Rumble, Twitch, Kick, make sure you hit that follow button. Okay? I'm on all of them. Please. We gonna be using TikTok until it's gone. But TikTok is about to be gone, by the way, guys. Just so you guys know. But make sure you hit that follow button, okay? Subscribe here on my main channel. Go to my second channel, The Pascal Show Clips on YouTube. Subscribe over there. Check out Pascal Raw as well. Subscribe over there as well. That'd be greatly, 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 greatly appreciated. Make sure you hit that notification bell on all those platforms. Set it to all so you know whenever I go live, whenever I upload, because honestly, it is random. And right now, there's going to be a lot of breaking news stuff. So there's going to be a lot of random lives, just so you know, okay? Get in here. There's a lot to talk about. This is breaking news. I mean, this is maybe 10 minutes old. So we're waiting for more information to come out, but this is insane. So get in here, all right? Hit that join button down below. Become a member. Support my musical journey as well, because we're going to be doing that here very, very soon, all right? So check out that membership as well. Hit that join button, okay? Check out my Patreon if you want to support even further. And, of course, check out PascalMerch.com. PascalMerch.com. We got some really great stuff over there. PascalMerch.com. Okay, guys. All right. We have got to talk about this. Let me just tell you this. There has already been an ice storm going on throughout the country. Even in California, y'all, even in sunny California, there has been an absolute ice storm. And no, I'm not talking about frozen precipitation. I'm talking about ICE agents, Border Patrol agents, etc., being seen all throughout the country. They're sprouting out everywhere, okay? They're out here everywhere. You can miss them because they are hiding in plain sight. But they're hiding in plain sight. There have been a lot of reports. There's been a lot of information about ICE agents showing up to people's doors, doing door-to-door. And no, they're not asking about your relationship with the Lord. They're trying to find out if you are an American citizen or not. Now, here's the thing. It doesn't matter if you agree with it or not. These are just facts. They are indeed going to people's homes, knocking on people's doors, sometimes just barging through the front door and just taking people because of whatever reasons, right? Some are criminals, Understandably, some are not. Maybe they're here breaking the law, but they're not here because they are vicious individuals. Let's just say that. Just people trying to live a good, wholesome, nonviolent life, right? A crime-free life. Doesn't matter what you think about any of that. At the end of the day, this is what ICE has been doing, and it's been getting bad. Now, we already know what happened with Renee Nicole Good. We all know that. She lost her life. That is a fact. Doesn't matter what side of the fence you stand on, she is no longer here. This mother, this spouse, this wife, she's gone. She did lose her life by an ICE agent. That is also a fact. It is also a fact that she was driving that car. That is also a fact. It's also a fact that she did collide with that ICE agent. So, of course, those are all facts. Whether you think it's just or not, still doesn't change the facts. She is no longer here, and I still feel like she should still be here. But the facts are the facts, right? So there's been quite a bit of reaction. There's been a lot of protests, a lot of demonstrations. And for the most part, they've been, I'll sprinkle in and say, sprinkled for the most part, they have been peaceful. Yes, there's been some upticks of unruly behavior, for lack of a better term, but it's been pretty peaceful. But we've been seeing a lot of other situations where there have been ICE-involved shootings going on in Minneapolis. And now we heard one in California. And now we hear about another one now where a man just lost his life at the hands of ICE. Now, there's not much I can show you here, guys. There's not much I can show you, but I will show you a still. Okay? I can't show you the video. I can show you the scuffle up until this man takes his last breath, but it's abrupt. It is shocking. And I still can't believe this thing went down the way it went down. Let me describe to you. Well, actually, let me show you the first half. I'm not showing you guys the moment where he lost his life. I'm just making it abundantly clear. There are things that I cannot show you guys on this platform. If you want to go over to TikTok, I mean, not TikTok, I'm sorry. If you want to go over to X or Twitter, whatever you want to call that platform, you can see it right there. You can take a look at it for yourself. But they took this man's life. Do we know everything that went down here? It's hard to tell. But I'm wondering what ICE is going to say, or what DHS, the Department of Homeland Security, is going to say in a statement. And I'm sure that statement's going to happen or come out within the next 15 minutes. Because they don't do, this is also a fact. Sorry, but it is a fact. They don't do their research. They don't do their due diligence to find out what actually happened. What was the scuffle about? What was the issue that caused this man who you see the feet on sticking up on the ground right there in this still that I have here, okay? What caused this man to lose his life? They're not going to say that. DHS is going to just give out some blanketed statement. We're probably going to get a blanketed statement with a lot of trigger words from our president as well, because this is how it is. These are just facts, guys. I just want to make that abundantly clear. These are just facts, okay? But again, like I said, this is absolutely insane, okay? Now, here's the thing. Albania, thank you so much for saying that, because here's the thing. We don't, like, if he did have a weapon, yeah, you don't show up with a weapon to a situation like this. What's going to be bad, okay, is that no matter what, we're going to have narratives that are going to be said. There's going to be narratives that are going to be said. Whether he was holding a gun or not. Let's just say he didn't have a pew-pew in his hand. What, right? They're saying that he was, yeah, that's the thing. Some reports are saying, some people are saying that he was reaching for a weapon on ICE, that ICE had, or that he actually had a weapon in his possession. Now, let me just say this. You do something like that, what do you think is going to happen? Right? Don't do that. But now we have this situation going on. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay? Let me show you what I'm talking about. I can't show you the whole thing. I can't show you the whole thing. In fact, let me just check something off camera real quick. Yeah, it happens pretty quick. Hold on. I got to mute this real quick, guys. Sorry. I'm just kind of quickly editing. Yeah. It's about 20 seconds in. I can stop. So here's the thing. They definitely unloaded on this guy. Okay. Definitely unloaded on this guy. This is shocking. But again, if he had a weapon or if he really did, let me just be real. Let's talk about facts, okay? If he really did, because like I said, I'm still just getting all the information as we speak, right? This is just happened live. I was getting ready to talk to you guys about the winter storm stuff because, we're keeping an eye on that. The storm it's really happening now here in these streets. And as I'm starting to get ready, I see this situation that happened. And I'm like, damn, this is insane. Now, this could very well be, we don't know. That's the thing. I don't have all the information right now. So we're going to find out as much as we can. But this could very well be a protester. This could also be somebody that they're trying to just, an illegal that they're trying to detain. Some reports, this is the problem. Some reports are saying that he had a weapon on him. Some other reports are saying, just people out here in the streets are saying that he actually was grabbing an ICE agent's weapon and then, then they unloaded on him. They literally unload on the dude. The dude is already on the ground and they're still pulling the trigger. He's still on the ground. I can't show it to you guys, but you're going to have to take my word for it. You can go check out the full video yourself. But there's definitely a scuffle and then all hell breaks loose. You see the guys separate. You see the ICE agents start to try to get away from him because he must have something in his hands. And then another ICE agent just pulls the trigger 6 times and keeps pulling the trigger. That's crazy. He gets hit once, right? And the dude goes like this and he, you know what I mean? Bang, and he kind of stiffens up and falls over. The dude, the ICE agent backs up, is like, brah, 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 as he's backing up. Dude is done after shot number 1. You feel me? It's insane, okay? Again, I get it. If you coming through and you strapped, you got your gat with you, right? Or you are grabbing somebody else's piece, yeah, you expect the end of the end of beginning. You know what I'm saying? Expect it to be done, expect it. Don't be surprised. But it is interesting that the guy this is backing up is like, brah, 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 just keeps going. I'm like, damn, dude is done. He's gone. Okay? Dude is gone. So like I said, not everything has been, fully fleshed out yet. But for a fact, people are going to be very upset about this, right? Protesters are going to be pissed about this. So let's just see what's going on, okay? Let's take a look at this, okay? I can't show you the whole doggone thing. Just fair warning. I'm going to stop it at 19 seconds in, but you can at least see this the scuffle. How's that?
They're doing too much, man, and they keep pushing people,
There you go. You heard the shot, right? That's where I stop it. Sorry, but I can't show you the rest. Okay? But as you can see, there's a full-on scuffle going on. You got how many of these guys? How many is this? Let me pull this up so you guys can see this too. Let's see. 1 ice, 2 ice, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold on. I think there's 7. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. It looks like a 7th one, but I don't. Like I said, I can only go this far. Okay, I can only go this far. But I do want to share with you guys. This is just crazy. This is just crazy. So they say a man has been shot and unalived by Border Patrol in Minneapolis after preliminary reports suggest he attempted to pull a weapon on agents while they were detaining him. Now, we don't know who this man be. That's the thing. We don't know who this guy is, but we do know that he's no longer here on this planet because he either pulled a weapon on somebody or he got a weapon off of an agent. Okay. Now, again, still more information. Information is running wild. Okay. He either pulled a gun or he grabbed one from somebody. And what's crazy is that you heard the bang. You didn't see the part where I'm not going to show you guys that. But you heard the bang. And then I'm just going to describe the rest. That's when agents start to back away and then they unload, right? Or at least one agent unloads. Question is, are the reports that are being said that he had a weapon on him, is that true or not? Because it's hard to tell in the video. And I'm not sitting here saying that ICE is lying, okay? I'm not saying that it's not true. There's still a good possibility that ICE or that person that they were trying to detain did indeed have a weapon. That could very well be true, right? But the other part, though, is that maybe, you see what I'm saying? Maybe that isn't entirely true. Maybe there was a confusion. Maybe there is a misunderstanding because there's a lot of bodies on top of bodies in that video, right? Now, I'm trying to see if there's any reports about this because it's just interesting that there hasn't been anything yet. Hold on, guys. This is right as I was live, right? Okay.
With 2 magazines.
Here we go. Hold on. So CBS is confirming, apparently. Let me just show you guys this as well. They're saying that the suspect actually did have a firearm. Let's take a look at this. Going back a little bit. Yeah, because people are pissed. People are pissed. I just spoke with the White House after, and this is from Governor Walz. I just spoke with the White House after another horrific pew-pewing by federal agents this morning. Minnesota has had it. This is sickening. The president must end this operation, pull the thousands of violent, untrained officers out of Minnesota now. What's interesting, though, is, again, look at what's going on. I'm just sitting on the fence on this one because I'm going to be real. We don't know. They say he had a weapon on him. Check the full. Yeah, this is CBS. This is CBS, by the way. Okay, CBS News, right? So you got to take it with a grain of salt coming from CBS. But CBS is confirming that the man did have a weapon on him. Now, I'm not sitting here saying, let me make this abundantly clear. I am sitting on the fence on this one because you can't tell anything in the video. That's the problem. You can't tell anything. It's just bodies moving around. It's a cluster of people on top of one guy, a cluster of ICE agents on top of one guy. And then all of a sudden you hear a bang and then it's a bang, 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 right? So You got to see the video for yourself. I can't show you the full video. I'm sorry. I wish I could, but we got guidelines. We got things we can't show, right? But nonetheless, it's bad. But again, even Governor Walz is going on the side of, you know, I don't know. Instantly, he's like, you know, they need to stop this, blah, blah, blah. So let's take a look at this. I'm going back a little bit. This is crazy. Okay. This is crazy.
Chaotic scene. There are protesters there. They are blowing their whistles and a lot of profanity. That's what Frankie Mellister was telling us, being very careful with the audio in that area. If you look, you're seeing video there of the federal agents, we're told, from HSI, Border Patrol, and ICE are also on that scene. Hennepin County Sheriff deputies are there trying to control the crowds, trying to keep people peaceful as they exercise their First Amendment rights. Once again, we did hear from Governor Walz, who did confirm that there is a shooting there by a federal law enforcement agency agent. We don't know exactly the condition of the person who was shot. We do not know the condition of the person.
Well, they say him gone. Okay. They say he's crossed over. He gone. And yeah, he's gone. Because let's be real. If you saw the ICE agent, he definitely gone after the third, fourth, or fifth shot that he took. I'm just going to keep it a beam. And maybe I could just play the audio so you guys can hear how many times that ICE agent pulls his trigger. The guy is on the ground, just like this. Feet up, head up on the ground, just gone. Dude is he gone. He ain't moving. Okay. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, don't, you know, it's like beating a dead horse kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, he gone. Like, stop. But he was like, brah, 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 brah. Like, dude is gone. Why would you need to go and unload on this dude? You know what? Can I play the audio? I don't even know if I can play the audio. You know what I'm saying? But you see it. You can see it for yourself, baby. It's bad. Okay, but let me continue. Okay, again, even if the guy had a weapon on him, it's a bit excessive, don't you think, to unload on the dude when he's already on the ground, not moving. And if this ICE agent had enough training in his, you know, in his experience becoming an ICE agent, not just 47 mother-loving days, wouldn't he know, like, you know, bang, is he down? You can assess that the guy's gone. You know what I'm saying? By the fact that he's not moving. But that's just me. Yeah, I feel like it was excessive as, you know? These are the moments where I want to curse, you know what I'm saying? But I know kids are listening, okay? Hi, babies. Hello, little ones. Hopefully y'all are having a beautiful day, okay? And if you are in the area of snow, go make some snowmen. Go enjoy your life, okay? Go kick some snow. Not kick rocks, get it? But go kick some snow, kids, okay? Adults are talking. So again, let's continue.
Person was shot right now, but CBS News has confirmed that there was a gun and 2 magazines on the suspect at the time of the shooting, and they are tweeting pictures of that to CBS News at this hour, telling us that that suspect who was shot by a ICE agent is actually had a gun in his possession, as well as 2 magazines. Once again, the crowds are growing there outside the Good Grocer there at 27th and Nicollet Avenues. We do have a reporter at the scene. We will have another reporter at a briefing by Greg Bavino that's scheduled for 12 o'clock to hear exactly what he has to say about this, what seems to be the 3rd shooting here in our city by a federal law enforcement agency of someone who is a Minneapolis resident. So
this is the 2nd unaliving. This guy's gone. I mean, if he survived, I mean, shoot, 50 Cent survived being shot, what, 8, 9 times? So, I mean, you know, anything's possible, but on some real stuff, we can assess that this guy's gone.
Lots going on right now. We're getting information in just constantly. People are showing up at the scene, but the city of Minneapolis is asking people to avoid that area if at all possible, and for those who are there to remain peaceful. Try to remain peaceful as you exercise your First Amendment Right. Now, there are those federal officers on standby. As Frankie Mellister told us, they do have chemical irritants ready to deploy.
Of course they do.
Right now, the crowds are remaining behind the
But
yellow
of
tape,
course.
and that's a good thing. They do not want any interaction with the crowd as they investigate exactly what led up to the shooting and what is going on there now at the scene. Once again, the city of Minneapolis is asking people to avoid that area if at all possible and to remain peaceful if you are there. As Frankie was telling us earlier, a lot of people are just showing up. They're hearing about this. There are a lot of people on patrol with those whistles. We're hearing a lot of those whistles in the background. People are blowing the whistles at the ICE agents who have joined HSI agents as well as agents of the Border Patrol. They're forming a perimeter around that area, trying to keep that scene safe as investigators move in to try to figure out exactly what happened. As you can see there, I think that tape goes all the way from 27th, possibly to 25th Avenues there on Nicollet, making sure that the crowds stay back while they investigate exactly what's happening. Once again, if you're just joining us, breaking news, the Governor Walz has tweeted that he is aware of another shooting by a federal law enforcement agency in Minneapolis, in the city of Minneapolis, South Minneapolis this time, near 27th and Nicollet Avenue in front of the Good Grocer there. As you can see the video there on your screen, crowds are growing and federal agents are forming a perimeter around that area, trying to maintain the sanctity of that scene while they investigate exactly what is happening. Lots going on right now near 27th and Nicollet. Once again, the city is asking people to avoid that area if all possible. If you are there, to be peaceful. If you are there protesting at this hour. Once again, CBS News has confirmed that the suspect did have a gun. The individual, we'll call him an individual, had a weapon at the scene with 2 magazines there. They are tweeting pictures to CBS News that this is what that individual had on him that was shot at this hour. Right now, crowds are growing outside of the Good Grocer there near 27th and Nicollet. We see a lot of federal agents on the scene. We also see Hennepin County deputies there trying to keep the peace, trying to keep the people who are there blowing their whistles and screaming at ICE agents at bay while they investigate exactly what happened. We do see HSI agents, Border Patrol, and ICE agents on the scene. Photojournalist Ray Campos there at the scene giving us that live look. As you see, they're in force. We believe about 3,000 of those agents are in Minnesota at this time.
I have a feeling that Minneapolis is going to be the new Portland, like what it was 4 years ago. Okay. In the first term, I think that we're going to have Minneapolis now become the new Portland because things aren't getting any better. Obviously, things continue to get worse. And before we continue with this live feed, because we're going to look at that here in a second, I'm going to share with y'all what they are sharing. Hold on, just pulling this up. And you already seen the video, or, a piece of the video. Like I said, I can't show you the full video because of how graphic it really is. But this is what they're saying. And let me read this really quick. It can now be confirmed the individual that was, hit, that was unalived by CBP in Minneapolis attempted to draw a weapon on agents before they were forced to deploy lethal force. Okay. And here is apparently what they're putting out here and what was being shared. This is the weapon that he had on his person. So 2 magazines, and he had the pew-pew. He had a sight on it and everything. So there's that. Like I said, I mean, here it is. We gotta, take everything with a grain of salt in the world that we live in right now. But obviously you can see in the video, it looks like he's pulling. If you see the full video, you could see that clearly ICE agents are starting to clear the area because something's pulling out of, he's got something. Why would they back up, right? It's the bang, 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 bang kind of thing. That's excessive in my personal opinion. One shot and he goes down. bang, and he stiffens up and he just goes down. That's it. You see what I'm saying? But then the dude just unloads like gow, you know? So this is what he had on his person, allegedly. You know, we got to say alleged, at least for now, you know? But yeah, people are starting to show up, and they're pissed. Okay. They're pissed. So breaking news, guys. I mean, they're saying, we don't know the extent of if this guy is still alive or not. He gone. I think it's safe to say he's perished. All right. But I guess we'll wait for confirmation on that too, right?
They were sent here for Operation Metro Surge, and that's been going on about 6 or 7 weeks right now. More than 3,300 people have been arrested, we're told, but CBS News and WCCO has not been able to independently confirm that those numbers are correct. But we are told from DHS that 3,300 people have been arrested during this Operation Metro Surge. All of this is happening just a day after thousands of people descended upon our city in Minneapolis, taking place in an ice out. The biggest of those events started at the Commons outside of US Bank Stadium and went all the way to Target Center, where there was a rally that went on for most of the afternoon. We have another reporter on the scene. Our Adam Duxter is there live near 27th and Nicollet. Adam, if you can hear me, what's going on there?
Yeah, we can't hear you, bruh. Oh, the technical issues.
And you can see that cloud. That is not fog. That is tear gas, and that has pushed a lot of this crowd back. I can tell you. Sorry, that it hurts to breathe out here.
Can I don't mean to interrupt so much, okay? But I just want to make this abundantly clear, okay? What up, T? What's up, my brother? What up, my dude? Yes, and to the fantastic people that are watching in here. And it doesn't matter what side of the fence you're on. If you think that this was just, if you think this was self-defense, if you don't think it was self-defense, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we're all in here. Let's just be, I'm not sitting here saying that you guys aren't being respectful in the chat, but, of course, please stay respectful in the chat. But I was going to say this. It doesn't, what's really sad about this and what really breaks my heart about this is not only is that you have a guy who just lost his life. That is tragic. How he lost his life may straight up just be on him, okay? But at the same time, it's not going to change the protesters' thoughts on what happened here. You understand that, right? This is going to enrage people no matter what. Regardless if this was FAFO, play stupid games, win stupid prizes type of situation, no matter what, there are going to be people out there that are going to be enraged even more. This is not good. This is not a good situation. And then, if you really think about it, if this is what I feel that protesters are thinking or feeling right now. So I'm just speaking on the side of that. Okay. Just hear me out. All right. Like I said, I'm hopping back and forth on either side of the fence with this situation here, because we don't have all the information. But as far as what ICE protesters, anti-ICE protesters are thinking, they're probably like, yo, y'all were the first ones to bring a gun to the fight or bring a gun to the problem. Now we're bringing guns to the problem too. And now it's going to be the Wild Wild West out here in these streets. Now, so far, until today, if these claims are true with what happened here, you see the video, you could tell something happened. Something is up. He had something in his possession, in his hands, okay? I just think that, I just truly think that, remember that guy who said, hey, I showed up without any weapons this time, but next time I'm here, I'm showing up with weapons by any means necessary, right? There's a lot of other guys that are thinking the same doggone thing. And I worry about what's going to happen in Minneapolis now, because it's going to turn into the Wild Wild West. So you can have both sides suited and booted. And that's not good. at the end of the day, it's not good. And again, doesn't matter what side of the fence you were on. People are going to be enraged by what just happened to this guy. People on the far left, far extreme protesters are going to be upset, mad as F about this, whether it was a situation that he should not have put himself in or not, whether it was justified self-defense by ICE or not. People are going to be enraged. And let me just say this too. It's Saturday. Oh, let me repeat this also. Let me add to that. It is Saturday morning. This is going to be a long day, guys. It's going to be a long day. So just saying that out loud, this is not good. No matter which side you look at it, no matter which way you look at it, this is not going to be good. So, the only people that are live streaming this and reporting this right now so far is this CBS network. Okay. So we're going to watch this for now. When there's more live updates, we will jump on to other ones. Okay. But CBS is the one that's doing it right now. Okay. So chill out there. Some people are like, why you watching CBS? They're the only ones reporting this information right now. When other places are talking about this, trust me, we will play those things as well. But let's hear what CBS has to say, right?
And this is when we have seen some of the largest clashes with these federal agents and the people on the scene. As you can hear, more chemical agents being deployed is when a scene like this happens. As you hear more chemical agents being deployed, we see these large clashes when they try and get these crews out of the scene. Again, you could just see it. You could see this cloud. And I could tell you that at 26 and Nicollet, it is hard to breathe. You can see state patrol on the scene. You see these buses, and you can see they sent a number of state troopers in all at once, presumably for crowd control. But you could just hear more of those chemical agents being used right now. And I could tell you there's maybe 100 to 200 people who are on the corner of 26th and Nicollet attempting to get closer. And then these tear gas and whatever chemical agents that they're using were deployed. You can just hear these bangs after bangs. And honestly, Reg, I'm worried for Frankie and Ray. They're basically on the other side of this block. I'm not sure what they're seeing right now, but I can tell you that Minnesota State Patrol is on the scene and presumably assisting with crowd control. But you can just see that cloud right there. And I can tell you, Reg, that if anyone is in that cloud right now, they are hurting. Because even from a distance, the tear gas, it burns everywhere inside of you, Reg. But again, there are reinforcements, so to speak, on the scene. We know it was federal agents on the scene this morning. Presumably, you don't want to speculate, but doing some sort of effort. But now you have local authorities. Again, Minnesota State Patrol, you see the state trooper trucks there. And you could just see that haze right there, Reg. And also, not worth, forgetting, Reg, that it is blistering cold outside. Even a few minutes outside, it is very, very cold for anyone right now. But again, it was just a moment ago as we were walking up, they deployed those chemical agents and it dispersed much of the crowd. We'll try and get a little bit closer. Obviously, we want to stay out of harm's way ourselves. But Reg, I can tell you that the reinforcements, so to speak, on scene wasted no time. And they're trying their best to clear out any crowd that is here at the moment.
Thank you, Adam Duxer on the scene there. Be careful out there and make sure you catch your breath. Those chemical irritants are really bad, and they've been deployed, as you said, by members of the Minnesota State Patrol. There, the city of Minneapolis did send out information asking people to avoid that area if at all possible, and asking for the protesters who were there, exercising their First Amendment rights, to be very peaceful. Let's go to Frankie Melista, who's also boots on the ground. He's on the other side of
Don't worry, we're going to be hopping over to another.
Frankie, what's going on?
We're going to be hopping over to another news outlet here in just a minute, but I just want to hear a little bit more.
On now.
Hit that like button down below.
We're just south of where Adam is.
Subscribe.
We're at 27th and Nicollet, but I'm going to step out and show you right here, as Ray Campos behind the camera shows you. Agents are coming from where Adam was, and as you could hear Adam, and I hope he's doing okay up there, he was breathing in some chemical irritants. So we're seeing a lot of those agents move from north there, south, where exactly we are. We're told that the incident happened around where we're standing right now. There's a grocery store that we're hearing the incident occurred nearby, and that grocery store is right here on the corner of Nicollet Avenue and 27th Street. So you hear the folks chanting, and I'm gonna try and speak louder as that is happening. They're chanting shame, and they're saying that as these agents kind of just walk south in this area. You're seeing agents right there from Border Patrol. We're also seeing some Hennepin County sheriffs, as we've been mentioning all morning long. But as I've been here, we're noticing also those Hennepin County sheriffs are kind of on the outskirts of the scene, and it seems like just trying to secure and protect what's going on. Ray is shooting to your our east right there. So as I'm going to back up, because we know that there's some profanity as people are upset out here. But you're looking east right there. There are some agents that are standing by on 27th Street East there, as Ray shows you now the intersection of 27th Street and Nicollet Avenue. We have not seen any chemical irritants be deployed here, as they have been where Adam is, just north of there. But I'll tell you, as we get...
My Lord. Okay.
Closer, maybe. Do you want to kind of show them right what it looks like up there? I got you. Ray's up on a hill trying to give you a good point of view there. But as we walk right up to the line right here, you can see that they have chemical irritants in hand. And we're going to watch and be careful, our crew. I'm just going to move you out of the way, man, right here. You can see right there that they are ready to deploy them if need be.
If need be, they're going to use them. Let's be real. We got another one. Another outlet that's covering stuff. Yeah, it's Fox News, guys. No matter where we go be on an outlet or a news outlet that nobody likes, or somebody in the peanut gallery is not going to like. It is what it is. This is just where the coverage is. But look at all this craziness right here.
And let you watch what we are seeing at the same time live from the scene. But please keep.
So just so you know, I saw a bunch of protesters up here on the top left-hand corner video. They took a dumpster. They rolled two dumpsters, and they're like trying to start blocking a specific area up. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if they're starting to create a fort of some sort in that area. I have no idea, but this is absolutely crazy. All of this is developing. For those of y'all who are just getting here late to the party, we have breaking news. Obviously, you're reading the title, but there has been a shooting that just happened. An ICE agent involved, federal agent involved shooting where a man lost his, well, they're saying, I believe the man lost his life. There are reports saying that he lost his life. They are not saying anything so far. No outlet has confirmed that the man has lost his life. But if you saw the video, which I've already shown a piece of it, skits, in the very beginning of the show, so roll back and check it out. I only showed the first 15 seconds of it. I didn't show the whole thing because the end of it is very graphic, okay? And I cannot show you guys the video. So I highly recommend you go and check out X. Just type in, Border Patrol shoots man, Minneapolis, and you'll find it. Everyone is sharing it right now. Okay. It is bad. It's not great at the end of the day. All right. But now they have not confirmed whether or not this particular person has lost their life or not. But this man was shot multiple times. Okay. So I'd be surprised if he survived. Now, MSNBC is saying that he passed. Thank you, No Joy here. I will look at that here too. Let's continue.
In mind that our primary focus is the safety of our crews out there as well. For those of you who are watching, last week, our Karen Scullen and Melissa Martz, photographer, photojournalist, along with Vince and Maury Glover were caught in a number of incidents where they were they were overcome by some of the chemical irritants at the scene designed to disperse the crowd. So we're going to keep the safety of our crews in line first. And then keep in mind, on top of that, it's 11 degrees below zero outside, too. And all of this is happening at a very emotional and fractious point here in the Twin Cities, especially after the shooting death of Renee Good a week and a half ago. And now you add this incident on top of this. And as Governor Walz noted in his tweet this morning, that emotions and everyone's sensitivity is now at a very, very high level. So you're looking at 2 live cameras that we have here in the scene. And again, this taking place at the corner of 26th and Nicollet this morning. We do not know, again, the identity of the victim who was shot and their disposition at this point. We don't know if they've...
well, see, that's the thing. Like I said, this is like a few seconds behind, a few minutes behind, and they're still saying, you know, if Fox News is sitting here, Fox 9 at least, is sitting here saying, we don't know, you know, the condition of the guy. We don't even know his name. We don't know his identity yet or anything of that sort. But I am trying to find out more information. So stick with me, guys. This is all breaking news. Please make sure you hit that like button down below. Don't forget to subscribe. If we can get it to 1K likes, that would be greatly appreciated. Yes, it has been reported that that there is supposed to be a news conference in the very, very near future. So we will be here to hear that press conference and see what the heck actually happened here, right? Or, you know, you never know. They might not tell us the full, they may not tell us the full news, guys. Just full on heads up here. So get ready for, it's so polarizing everything. You know what I mean? Some people are going to think, some people are going to say what they tell us in the press conference is the truth. Some people are going to say that what they tell us at the press conference is a full on lie. I don't know what to say anymore. All I know is that there's going to be a press conference and we just need to hear what they're going to say about the situation. Okay. But again, I recommend you guys go and check out the video for yourself so you can assess for yourself what you truly think happened here. Okay. Was it self-defense for ICE or was it not? Right. Give me 2 seconds, guys. I'm trying to get as much information as I can. All right. I'm trying to get some confirmation on a few things. So again, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let's rock and roll.
Survive those injuries. If they're in recovery, we're only going to presume to be HCMC because that's our level 1 trauma center. We're waiting to hear now from more details at the scene.
Yeah, and I mentioned the Immigration Enforcement Commander Bevito, who had the previously scheduled news conference that's now been pushed to noon. But I'm just looking that we are going to have an 11:30 a.m. media briefing with Mayor Fry, Chief O'Hara.
So 11:30 a.m. they're supposed to be doing a press conference. So that's within the next half hour. Okay, guys?
Director of Emergency Management, Rachel Sawyer, that will hold a briefing to discuss this shooting of an adult male in Minneapolis, they say, involving ICE agents. Again, this is according to the city of Minneapolis. They'll be holding that briefing at 11:30. They are saying that it is to discuss the shooting of an adult male in Minneapolis.
Let me just say this, breaking, just so you guys know. As of just a little bit ago, about 30 minutes ago, yes, MS Now, or MS, what used to be MSNBC, says right here, and I'm just going to read this off camera really quick. Minnesota officials say federal law enforcement agents pew-pewed and unalived another person. So they're saying this man is gone. All right. So, of course, like I said, they, you know, as chaos unfolded near the scene of the incident. So obviously there's a lot of protests as we're seeing right here. In fact, I'm just going to keep playing this. I'm just going to mute it so I can just read the rest of this here really quick. They say Minnesota Governor Walz, which we already heard him say these things in that tweet that he put up just a little bit ago, but they're reiterating what he called this shooting, which was horrific and sickening. Uniformed officers, some wearing what appeared to be gas masks, were seen firing tear gas into a crowd that gathered near the scene where a man earlier was wrestled to the ground by several agents and shot multiple times. And he was shot multiple times, guys. That one agent unloaded on the dude, okay? As first reported by the Minneapolis Star-Tribune, which obtained video recorded by an eyewitness. Walz said in his post on X, that he had spoken to the White House after another horrific shooting by federal agents this morning. So he says, well, like we said before, but I'm going to say it again. He said, and I quote, Minnesota has had it. This is sickening. The president must end this operation, pull the thousands of violent, untrained officers out of Minnesota now. So you got Amy Klobuchar also speaking out about this. There's been another shooting involving, and she put a tweet out saying this. There's been another shooting involving federal agents in Minneapolis, and I'm working to get more information. I will update as soon as possible to the Trump administration and the Republicans in Congress who have stood silent. Get ICE out of our state now, and now in all caps. Okay. And of course, the state has been on edge since the unaliving of Renee Nicole Good. So again, this is all absolutely crazy. All of this is still developing as we have winter storms and ice storms blasting through the southeast region, going up to the upper, northeast area as well. We also have issues with ice going on in Minneapolis right now as we speak. Anti-ice protests developing right before our very eyes because of a man who, well, not only just because of this man, but now it has enraged a lot of protesters, and all because of this man getting unalived by ICE. Okay, so let's continue. I'm going to unmute this, okay? And I'm looking for more information here, guys. All of this is still developing, so just give me a little grace.
To keep people back, and of course you can't avoid the federal agents that are gathering now there at the scene for scene and perimeter integrity. Mm-hmm. And as you know, more agents will be coming in to try and investigate what happened here, to gather any kind of evidence they can there at the scene, which is very routine in a shooting like this. And I think what's going to be more telling now is whether the feds involve the BCA in this shooting as well. As you know, they've conducted their own investigation into the shooting of Renee Good, and have frozen out Minnesota authorities in trying to investigate that, which is why you have Hennepin County Attorney Mary Moriarty opening up a portal for people to submit their own evidence and videos for any kind of...
I want to make this abundantly clear. This is the reason why, one reason why footage, like footage of this kind is really important, but also when you have crappy footage, you can't tell, you can't see what's really going on, right? And then, of course, it splits the room. So again, we have a situation where people are now saying, and I'm just going to read this tweet off screen, all right? But people are responding to the video. Everyone's watching it, and some people are saying that there was a guy, one of the ICE agents was wearing, I guess he was wearing a gray jacket, right? So apparently he pulled the weapon. This is just one person examining or, reviewing the footage. This is what I mean by things getting super polarizing here, all right? So I'm just going to read what he said. Gray jacket ICE officer pulled the gun from guy's waistband. Then shots were fired. Okay, then shots started. The guy never pulled a gun. This is what somebody said after watching the video. The guy never pulled a gun. They freaked out when someone yelled gun, and then they executed him. You see what I'm saying? If you look at the video itself, it's a fury. It is a blizzard of ice. Okay? It is a blizzard of ICE agents on top of everybody, right? So you can't really tell what's going on. All you hear is a pop and then a pop, 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 right? So you can't really tell. That's what's so sad about this situation, okay? I know that there's some people that'll be like, no, you can tell. I get that. If you can tell, then good on you. But there's other people out here that are watching the video and they're like, it's a blur of ice on top of one guy. And then what's sad is that, and frustrating is that it's not a clear shot. I mean, the video. He's behind a window that has like some sort of something on the window. So the camera kind of dips a little bit. So you can't tell what's happening. You know what I mean? Something gets in the way of the shot. And then all of a sudden, pop, 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 pop. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what's so frustrating about this. So people are going to be looking at this and they're going to instantly side with one side or one side or the other. Solely because of their bias. They're not going to, you know what I mean? Because it's blurry. It's a blur of bodies on top of one guy. You can't really tell what's going on. So now you got a guy, and Mathis, you could definitely find it online. I just showed a little bit of it in the very beginning of the show. I didn't show to the part where, people are losing, people lose their lives or anything because it's pretty graphic afterwards. But go and check it out. You can find it online. It's on X. It's all over X. People are re-sharing it over and over again right now. All right. But nonetheless, because of it being because of there being so many people on top of him, you can't tell what's really going down. So of course there's going to be people that are going to look at it and go, "Oh no, it was that ICE guy," or no, he didn't pull anything, or he did pull something. You can't tell right there at that moment, and that's what's so frustrating about it. Wait for it, because there's going to be a lot of people doing slow-mo analyzing, analysis in slow-mo of the last moments before that man lost his life. Wait for it. And it's all going to be tactical guys or ex-cops. Well, hey guys, I'm here. All tatted, swole, and tatted. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to 1776 911. We're going to sit down and we're going to analyze that video real quick, the man who lost his life. This is how you could tell that man had a pew-pew on his body, and the fact that he did pull that weapon from his waistband and then tried to discharge that weapon. Let's check it out. Let's get into it. Wait for it. It's coming.
Investigation that she might be able to conduct. It's too early in this particular shooting to know if that in fact is going to happen again, if the feds are going to investigate this on their own, or if they're going to invite in some outside investigators from Minneapolis and or the BCA.
Yep. 10:56 here on a Saturday morning, and you can see that I've lost count of how many canisters of the tear gas or dispersed irritants that they have thrown. So there was another one there. What I'm noticing, Tim, is that I don't know what law enforcement agencies are there. Again, you are watching this live with us. It looks to be a lot of federal agents.
Here we go. We have something going on.
Is that another canister?
It sounds as if, there goes another canister. So
here we go.
It would appear that they're trying to deploy non-lethal means. Important.
They're not trying. They are. Let's be real. They're not trying. They are.
To send a message about their opposition to the federal enforcement surge that's going on here. Now, we have to say that while there's opposition here, the position of the federal government and ICE and the White House is that enforcement surge is here to track down. coverage here on Fox 9 from the scene near 26th and Nicollet in Minneapolis, where there has been yet another shooting this morning by a federal agent. We're just getting in a statement now from Hennepin County Attorney Mary Moriarty, and she says, quote, "We are aware of reports of a federal agent having shot an individual in Minneapolis this morning. We are working with the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension to coordinate a state response. The scene must be secured by local law enforcement for the collection and preservation of evidence. We expect the federal government to allow the BCA to process the scene," end quote. And that is a key sentence right there, because in the shooting of Renee Good, the BCA was not allowed to become a part of that investigation. What we do know this morning is that one man has died in this shooting, and we do not know the circumstances, the official circumstances around it, although this is the video from...
Okay, real quick, just looking at the, and I'm going to play this, I promise. But I was just replaying the video, right, just to see the moment. The analysis of the guy in the gray jacket could very well be accurate. If you look at the video and you see the guy walk up to the guy in the gray shirt, the guy in the gray jacket, there's a guy in a gray jacket that walks over to where the chaos is happening, and they're trying to detain this guy, right? This particular, I don't know if he's a protester or if he's a migrant. We don't know, right? That's information. They have not said anything. But the guy in the gray jacket, gray ICE jacket, or ICE agent wearing a gray jacket, he walks over. He doesn't have a pew-pew in his hands. If you watch it, go check it out. He walks over. He doesn't have a weapon in his hand. Then he's doing something at the guy's waistband, which is correct. He's sitting there grabbing something at the guy who's about to be detained's waistband. And I'm not playing the sound right now. I'm just reanalyzing it, without the audio. So I don't hear anything about anybody saying anything about gun, 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 gun. But what happens is he runs away because someone says gun, 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 right? He runs away and he has a weapon in his hand. The entire time his hands are on the guy. The entire doggone time, his hands are on the guy trying to get something off his waistband. It's clear. He's trying to rip it out of his hand, out of his waistband for sure. Then he runs away, hurriedly runs away because, all hell is breaking loose, right? And then they unload on the guy. So could it be that the guy didn't actually have a weapon on him at all? But they saw, because it was just a fury of hands and fists and all that stuff. Could there be a situation where it was just a fury of legs and hands, and they're hitting the guy in one place, another guy's trying to grab his arm, another one's doing all this. Then that guy in the gray jacket coat walks over, grabs the weapon from his waistband, and because of all these arms and stuff and all this chaos, they may have mistakenly thought that the guy pulled the weapon. That could be it too. And then you also got to remember and question this too. How much training did these guys actually have before they actually walked in to this job? Before they were deployed in this particular city? Remember, some of these guys only get 47 days, guys. Some of these guys only had 47 days of training, and that's it. Some of these guys are just Joe Rogan podcast listeners. You see what I'm saying? Real talk. That's real talk. Army, military enthusiasts, people who, can't read good and all that stuff. It's like that, y'all. So again, think about that. Lack of training. Dude, if dude had definitely, it looks like he definitely had a weapon on his waistband, on his waist. If you watch the video, it's crazy because the guy walks up, he has nothing in his hands. Gray jacket. It's true. Then he walks up and you can tell he's trying to grab it out of the dude's waist. He grabs it and somebody says gun, right? And then he runs away with the weapon in his hand. Just take a look at it when you get a second. I can't show you guys the video, unfortunately. You see what I'm saying? That's when it all goes to hell, right? That's when it all goes and gets violent. But that's crazy, all right? Let me continue this, but that's absolutely knuckin' futz. Again, like I said, that's anything's possible. You know, he may have had 2 weapons, but they say they only showed 1 photo of the actual weapon, right? It was like a 6 hour, right? With two magazines. Okay. Look at the video. That theory could very well be right, but maybe he pulled the weapon off of ice. I don't know. I do not know. Let's continue.
Earlier. Leah, you've seen this many times now. Walk us through this.
Oh, well, I'm watching it in real time, exactly
What
like
the hell is going
like
on?
you are. You can see a scuffle. You can see someone on the ground there, but then they get back up. So I cannot see from this angle very well, you know, who the victim is. You can't hear anything, so I don't know, but you can see several agents, it looks like, on top of someone, from DHS telling Fox News that they say that the person was armed with a gun and 2 magazines. And they actually, Fox News has shared that on social media as well, an image of that gun and 2 magazines. There you see it there. So they are saying that the person who is involved in this and who we have since learned is now confirmed to have died, was, again, according to DHS telling Fox News, armed with a gun and 2 magazines. I do want to go back to your statement about
Press conference should be happening in the next 15 minutes, allegedly. Allegedly. We'll see about that, but let's continue. You know how it is. They say, you know, it's going to start at 11:30 and they don't start until, 12. Okay. 11:30 my time. Okay. 12:30 Eastern Standard Time. Okay. But let's continue. Looks like they're detaining somebody here in just a few seconds here too.
11:30, but I think even those of you who've been watching in the past couple of weeks, sometimes these are fluid, time-wise. They'll announce for a certain time, and then they got to push it back as more information comes in. And the federal authorities have been doing the same thing. They were originally set.
Oh, they're running. That's somebody running after. What?
Yep.
Why are they?
Here we go, right in front of our cameras.
Is this Jaden behind the camera?
This is a Fox News camera that we're watching right now of agents
There's
taking down somebody.
3 on top of?
Right at the scene.
They're saying we're not shooting.
Here we go.
It's just snow, you fucking cowards.
You've got people there in the scene who have just been throwing
Hey, what's your name?
ice chunks at the agents there. So you can just see how tense the situation there is this morning.
Yeah. Oh,
And it looks like that shot has now been frozen.
Frozen.
We may have lost our feed there temporarily. We just reestablished contact with where you can see the person that they just detained is now being taken away.
Here come the dumpsters. More and more dumpsters. Oh, boy. Remember, it's Saturday morning. It's still Saturday morning. It hasn't even hit it like, their Central Standard Time, if I'm correct, right? It ain't even noon yet, y'all. And already chaos is brewing. It's going to be a long mother-loving day. It's going to be a long mother-loving day. What a damn shame.
That situation there with the agents full speed running toward one particular individual, and then you saw about 4 people handcuff that person and walk them back in that direction. Again, this is all raw video that we are.
You're reading on the bottom, the lower third right there. Man that was pew-pewed by federal agents has passed away. That is confirmed. But it's duh. You watch the video itself. He gone. He gone as soon as that dude unloads on him 4 to 5 more times. Like, it's excessive, guys. I'm going to be real. Let's be real. Here it is. If he really did pull the pew-pew, he got iced by ice, like he got shot by ice, I bet. I get it. Right? But they didn't have to unload on him as many times as they did. Okay? They did not need to do that. And now that video is being shared and everybody and their mom is seeing that, this is not good. And look, now you got people hiding behind dumpsters. Man, we got dumpsters being used now. I'm just saying this is oh geez Louise. You see what I'm saying, guys? Don't get it twisted. Do not show up with pew-pews and expect and going toe-to-toe with ICE or 5-0 and expect to live to tell the tale. But at the same time, guy was on the ground, not moving after he got hit once. He was on the ground, pow, and he went down. Done. But that ICE agent was like, blah, 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 blah. Like, what do you got to do all that for? Dude was done. Done. That was excessive, guys. That was absolutely excessive. Now, what's going to happen? Protesters see the video. Protesters react to the video. And now we're seeing that now. This is going to be a long Saturday.
Watching unedited with you as this scene unfolds. So forgive the language if any kids are home here on a sunny Saturday morning in January. Just apologies for it.
Dang.
Yeah, you're watching live video with us here. This is another second camera that we had there.
Okay. We do hear several shots, but we don't know what led up to this. And
wait for, here's the other thing too. Insurrection Act enacted here soon. You think? Do you think? Yes or no? Say a yes or a no in the chat. Do you think that Trump is going to enact the Insurrection Act this weekend or no? Let me know.
And how this started, and we have lots of questions just like you do.
We have as many questions as you do. Fox News is reporting that the Department of Homeland Security is telling Fox News the suspect, who is now dead, was armed with a gun and 2 magazines. Lori, can we see that picture one more time? Is it possible to pull that up? This is the weapon, reportedly from the victim there at the scene. According to Department of Homeland Security, they gave this picture to Fox News. And we can presume that this is exactly what Greg Bavino from Border Patrol and the ICE agent in charge here will be talking about at their news conference now set for noon today. We're expecting to hear from city leaders in about another 15 minutes or so. That could be very fluid. Sometimes these are pushed back a little more, but we don't know exactly what led up to this morning.
Well, they moved it.
But now we do know how it ended, with one person being shot by federal agents who is now dead.
I'm sorry, what was that? Oh, there we go. That was just.
Hold on. I gotta pause this really quick. We're gonna come back to this, but there is some stuff that I want to share with you guys. That I find interesting, because they also said this in that reporting just a second ago, and I just want to reiterate this, because I think we all should be reading the words and listening to the words. Hear me out, okay? And everybody, please try to find peace in your heart, okay? Right now, I know a lot of people are enraged, okay? But we need love. We need peace in the chat, all right? And all caps is not, please don't write in all caps, okay? That's one of our guidelines here, all right? Please don't use foul language, all right? I get the frustrations. I get how people are right now. Everybody on both sides of the fence are feeling some type of way. I get it. But we also got to remember to breathe. Okay? We all have differing opinions about this. And this is what makes America so amazing, but also what makes it so devastating. Because a situation like this is going to instantly split the room. Please try to find peace within yourself as we continue. Okay? Please. At the end of the day, someone lost their life. That's really sad. Doesn't matter if you are F around and find out or if you're saying F ICE. Someone lost their life. It's a tragic situation. So speaking of that, I want to point this out. And I find this interesting. Okay? I find this very, very interesting. Look at the choice of words here. So according to Colin Rugg, he's saying, new. The Department of Homeland Security says the suspect who was, pew-pewed by federal agents in Minneapolis was armed with a gun, according to Fox News. I'm waiting for Department of Homeland Security to actually put out a tweet, but I haven't seen anything from them yet. But apparently they went to Fox News and told this to Fox News. But let me just say this again. They didn't say that he pulled a weapon. They just said that he's armed with a gun. There's a huge difference. Just so you know, that's a huge difference. They just said, yeah, he had a gun. Congratulations. The question is, did he actually use the gun? That's the question that needs to be answered. I'm sorry, but listen. Department of Homeland Security says the suspect who was shot by federal agents in Minneapolis was armed with a gun. Hopefully we find out more information, but him being armed with a weapon, so it's his 2A, right? 2A all day, America, right? Wording is different here. Wording is interesting. Sorry, it's all about the words now. That's where the world that we live in. They said, apparently from, hold on, a Fox News correspondent, okay, congressional correspondent. Apparently this is a quote from him as well. Reported this as well. Said the suspect was armed with a gun, which has been recovered by federal agents. Those are facts. He did have a weapon on him, but did he use it? That is the question. Just saying. Just saying. They go, he had 2 legs and 2 arms. Congratulations. You just gave us facts, but did he pull the weapon out on these agents? That's the question that needs to be answered. See what I'm saying? Because you feel like they would say right out the gate, he had a weapon, he pulled it out to discharge it. Therefore, we were made and we were forced to neutralize the assailant. That's why he's no longer here, right? Or they'd say brandishing his firearm. They just said he's armed with a firearm. You see what I'm saying? Again, it's about semantics nowadays. All right? It's about semantics nowadays. Just saying. Yeah. Did he brandish it? What's the facts here? Where are the facts? Right? Well, let's continue on because obviously chaos is chaosing. Okay, right now.
They're surrounding the entire intersection.
Hamburger.
And how close is law enforcement at this point? And give us a reference point as to where you're standing, if you can, Leon.
So law enforcement is right now preserving the scene. We're on Blaisdell Avenue.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, and you see they're actually moving the dumpster forward.
Who is moving the dumpster forward?
It looks like the community is.
Yeah.
Okay.
How did I know that was going to happen, guys? So now you got dumpsters on fire. These dumpsters on fire. You know what I'm saying? I knew this was going to happen. I knew that was the next spot. The next, like I said, it's still Saturday morning. It ain't even noon yet, y'all. Dumpsters are on fire. Diggity damn.
Somebody throwing something more into that dumpster to perhaps fuel the fire a little more.
Leon, question 2. This is Leah. Can you also gauge any sort of numbers of how much law enforcement is there and also from what agencies?
Law enforcement is in the center from where we're standing right here. I can't see what exactly they have on.
Okay, so you can't
but
tell.
they're in the center right now to preserve the scene.
Yeah.
And Leon, it would appear to me that you've got people arriving there, especially near the burning dumpster, that are maybe looking like they're trying to set up some kind of barrier or block off the streets. Am I seeing that right?
Yeah, typically when something like this happens, the community will block off the area so people don't come through here with cars.
Yep, and now they're trying.
It looks like they're moving back right now.
Disperse everyone with more canisters of smoke and/or irritants of some kind, so they can regain control of this particular area.
I don't know what that was.
Well, and while we are seeing, Leon, the people that you are seeing there, I do want to point out, Lori, correct me if I believe it was the city that said a little while ago they do want people to stay calm and to avoid the area. That is from the city of Minneapolis. They have said repeatedly, I don't know how many times, since January 7th, when Renee Good was killed, that they need things to stay peaceful. They've said repeatedly to not, quote, take the bait and get upset and bring it to another tragic situation and war scenes. So I do want to say that while we are seeing people go to that area, it is a handful of a couple hundred people, but the city of Minneapolis is asking people to stay calm and to avoid this area of 26th and Nicollet.
And this would appear to be, we can't get our cameras in there close enough right now to see the identification, but it would appear to be that this is Minneapolis police that are now showing up, trying to maintain some kind of scene control to have people move further away from the scene of the shooting there this morning at 26th and Blaisdell. This particular camera angle right now.
There's a zoomed in version. I'm sorry for interrupting this over and over again. Sorry, guys. There's just so much information. There's a zoomed in version of the situation of the guy in the gray jacket. I'm going to try to show that to you guys here in a second, because they show him. It's showing him going up, and it's moments before this man is actually hit. He's going up and he grabs something out of the guy's waistband, and it's a weapon. The guy walks up without any weapons in his hands. He goes over to this guy's waistband, and you could see that he's grabbing something out of his waistband. It's the weapon. It's the dude's weapon. Like, you could see it. I'm gonna show it to you guys here in a second. Let me just play it a little bit more, but you can see it, guys. This is bad. This is bad.
Now with Leon Purvis and Jaden, they're going to obviously they're moving back too for their own safety, but they're right at around Blaisdell as they observe everything that's going on.
And some of the folks, I know you're just seeing there, those folks in the yellow neon colored vests or jackets, but we did see those. They have been on scene for a while, just couldn't see them from our vantage point. But again, we don't know exactly who that is. I believe that patch looks like a state patrol.
Could be.
Patch.
Okay, hold on. Let me show you guys this. This is moments before the guy loses his life. In fact, actually, before I show that to you guys, let me show you. Let me, because it's two different videos that I got to show you. Okay. First off, we need to look at this moment right here. Now, I need you guys to look, and I'm welcome to 1776 911. We're going to do a deep dive into the last moments before the protester lost his life. Did he actually discharge that weapon? Did he brandish the weapon and try to discharge it on ICE agents or not? We're here to do a deep dive. So let's get into it. So here's the thing, okay? Yes, I've turned into 1776 911, okay? 1776 911. Whoop, whoop, right? So here's the thing. Look at this. This man right here. I want you to see his hand. You see his hand right here? Let me scroll this through a little bit. Look, There is no pew-pew in his hand. That is very important. Do you see a pew-pew in his hand? I'm going to repeat again. No, you do not. Okay? That is all very important. See that? You can see clear as day. There is no weapon in his hand. Wait for it. Okay? Now I got to do a parody of 1776 911. But you see that, right? You see that. You saw that. Okay. Here's the other part where there is a full-on zoomed in look. Look at this. Look at this. Let me just mute this because we don't need to hear all this crap. He walks up. You already saw him that he walked up. This is a zoomed in. This is him. Gray jacket right here. Take a look. See that? So he's struggling. He gets it. See that? He gets it out of his waistband. Gets it out of the dude's waistband. Okay? Or, 1776 911. Whoop, whoop. So you can see the man, the ICE agent right there. He goes up there and he pulls it out of his waistband. That he pulls the weapon. He pulls the pistol right out of the man's waistband. All right? And then he walks away with it. Take a look. Right there, baby. Right there. That's not a magic trick. Okay? He ain't David Mother-loving Copperfield. He most definitely not David Blaine. So he walked up there without weapon in hand. Walked over there. I'm going to show it to you guys again. Make sure y'all see it in the nosebleed seats. And let that soak all the way down to your mother-loving plums. Okay, baby. He walked over. You see it right there. Take a look again. You saw the first part, which I wish this guy, whoever zoomed in and did all this crap, I wish that they showed the first half. I had to show you that first half so that people are like, no, he had the weapon in his hand the entire damn time. Why would he have a weapon in his hand while wrestling with the dude? You see what I'm saying? The gun could possibly go off just by wrestling with the guy with the weapon in his hand. You see what I'm saying? So his hands are empty. Sans weapon in his right hand. And watch as his right hand does a jerking motion like this. It's because he's getting the weapon out of the guy's. He's forcibly trying to get the weapon out of the guy's waistband and succeeds in doing that. Take a look. See? Okay, and they repeat it again. So in a slow motion, boom, gets it out right there. And look, da-da, weapon in his hand. And what's interesting about this is that in that situation, you notice that right after he pulls the weapon out, don't you see him scurry off, like try to run away? He's like, oh, snap. Because somebody there said, hey, gun. So he ran away. He's like, oh, damn, he might have another one. I would take the guy's word for it if that happened. Okay, let's be real. You know what I'm saying? I would too. If I'm just focused on getting the weapon out of his waistband and I successfully do that and I hear somebody say gun, for a fact I'm scurrying. And that's exactly what he did. Take a look. Weapon in hand. Then he goes, ooh, you see what I'm saying? Ooh, I got to go. And he scurries. He has it. See? He has it in his hand, y'all. Come on. He has it in his hand. Again, if this guy actually had the weapon in his hand and there was a gun announcement, then yeah, I get him getting iced out. I get it. That's why you don't bring a gun to any of these kinds of situations, period, point blank. But if the guy didn't actually pull any weapon and didn't have a weapon on him at all whatsoever, all he was doing was fighting them off, trying to fight all of this ice off of him, then he died unjustifiably, guys. They said he had one weapon. That weapon is in that man's hand, in that ICE agent's hand right there. I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Take a look. One more again. Boom. That is not a magic trick. He did not show up, and you see it clear as day, yanking it out of his waistband. That's it, guys. Thank you for watching 1776 911. Whoop, whoop. Please be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. We always get into it right here on this show. And then we do a bunch of burpees and muscle ups while I'm drinking muscle milk and taking HGH. So again, is this justified or not? Don't worry, I'm going to play it again. Because some of you guys are here showing up and taking a look. Okay, take a look. Yeah, whoop, whoop. Take a look. Damn, that's a damn shame. That's not a magic trick, guys. Boom. Gets it out of his waistband. Damn it. Then he runs off. Hold on. So we're going to play it. I'm going to play it. I'll play that moment with the original video. And I want you guys to take a look at that dude in the gray. No gun in his hand. Okay? Goes up. This is in real time. Scuffle, scuffle, scuffle. See, he's trying to get it out of his waistband. Then he does. Then here it is. This is the second I can only show you guys. He runs off. And look. Did the guy actually have a weapon on his person after the agent took the weapon from his waistband? Because again, guys, they said he had one weapon, 2 magazines. That's it. See him scurry away? Because somebody said weapon. Somebody said right then and there, look at how everybody's pulling out their weapons now. They're like, gun, 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 gun. And everyone's reaching for their piece. Look at that. Everyone's starting to do this because they're all trying to get it. He had that weapon in his hands. Come on, guys. Let's be real. I repeat, 2 different possibilities here. Okay? 2 different possibilities. 1, he pulled the weapon. Like this guy, the ICE agent pulled that weapon and he had another magazine on him. And maybe they saw the magazine. They mistakenly thought that the magazine was a weapon, was an actual gun. So then they fired. Option number 2. They saw this guy, this ICE agent, pull the gun. And in a fury of arms, fists, feet, legs, etc., within the chaos, within this ice storm that was happening right over this guy, in the fury and the blizzard that was going on, they saw a piece show up in the fight, mistakenly thinking that it was the dude because he was grabbing from his waistband, another arm grabbing at his waistband. So maybe they thought it was actually his hand. And they said, gun, 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 gun. And then they unloaded on him. There's a third one, though. He was in the scuffle, fighting with ICE, and he grabbed one of another ICE agent's weapon, tried to reach for it. Maybe did reach for it. Maybe successfully did. But we don't see anything of that sort. But that's option number 3. But one thing's for damn sure. That piece that he had on his body was already taken from him before he lost his life. I said it. I'm going to repeat it again. This man did not have a weapon on him when he lost his life, at least from what we're seeing with this particular ICE agent grabbing his weapon from his actual waistband and then walking away with his piece. So either this guy grabbed an ICE agent's weapon and tried to brandish that weapon on ICE, or they mistakenly thought that the extra magazine that he had was a weapon. I think a very big mistake happened here. After seeing that, and after somebody actually analyzed the guy in the gray jacket, This tells me a different narrative now, guys. This tells me a different narrative. That's not good. That's no bueno, guys. And now, streets are on fire. Here we go.
The tape in its entirety of the news conference that starts second. So Leah and I both see that as a plausible scenario here this morning, because there hasn't been great communication going back and forth between federal law enforcement and local law enforcement here in the past couple of weeks. And so that's a very likely scenario that will happen.
Right. And if they're not coordinating, and we know because we have crews at both locations that they are, you know, unless there's some coordination of, okay, you go first. But I think we can all agree that we probably, that's probably low on the priority list of the courtesy of who goes first and who goes second. So yeah, we will be bringing that to you in its entirety. It is interesting that, you know, here it is 11:44. The statement from Homeland Security, you know, came out just about 12 minutes ago. Not only the statement, but also, you know, a photo and the added information, according to Homeland Security, that the suspect also had a 9mm semi-automatic handgun and had 2 magazines with them. So
there's what's interesting is that they're saying that the Minneapolis PD are now reporting that ICE has taken witnesses, and I'm just reading this off camera, but they have reported that ICE has taken witnesses from the situation today to the Whipple Federal Building and ordered the local police to leave the scene immediately. Why is that happening? That doesn't make any sense. So you got witnesses that have been detained by ICE and being sent to the ICE detainment center, okay? And they're ordering local police to leave the scene, the actual crime scene, immediately. Why can't local law enforcement be there? Now, I get that there's a little bit of a rift. Let's just say more than just a little bit of a rift, but there's definitely a rift going on between local PD and ICE. But that's very interesting that they're saying that as well. We got more, guys. Of course, there's supposed to be a press conference happening in less than 15 minutes from now. I know I said that 30 minutes ago, but they moved it from 11:30 to now noon. So that's going to be happening in the next 15 minutes. Hopefully they do that. But here it is. We got another thing. I'm just going to show you guys some other footage that people are sharing all over the Twitters. But they're saying crowd is only growing larger and tensions rising as an armed law enforcement vehicle makes its way to the scene. Authorities already deploying, gas, which we already know, okay, to clear out the crowd, but it's not working. More and more people are coming to the scene. Again, this is very bad. If people see the analysis or look at, 1776 911, whoop, whoop. If they go and do see the analysis, there's going to be more pissed off people out there in the streets. Trust and believe. But let's take a look at this.
So tense moments right now with this armored vehicle trying to get through here. I just got on the scene reporting for the Daily Caller. The crowd's getting big. Oh my gosh.
Shame on you! What the fuck is wrong with you? What are you doing? What?
There's already large crowds of tear gas being used, and the crowd's going big here. Oh, sorry. Follow along. We're going to have updates coming from Minneapolis.
Okay. Yeah, this is nuts. This is getting nutty. Okay. This is getting nutty. Uno momento, por favor.
We're done.
Right.
What we're being told.
Okay.
Yes, from this one
Hold on.
account, that's very different than the situation with Renee Good, which will be interesting because we do know that law enforcement officers do have protections if they feel a threat. So that sounds like that is going to be a big question when we hear the other information we're getting.
And of course, members of the community have been concerned.
But if the situation is that they, during the flurry of fists and feet, that they made a mistake, they're not going to admit to a mistake. I just don't see it. If they were in the wrong ever, do you really think that they're going to sit there and say we were in the wrong? I'd be very surprised. Something is in my eye, guys. Sorry. But I'd be very, very surprised if they actually do that. But I really highly doubt it. You see what I'm saying? 2 more videos have been released on X. What kind of Tony? What do you mean? Or like, where can I find it? 2 more videos released. What exactly does that mean? That would be helpful so I can find them, right? But yeah, this is like, come on now. Let's hear what CBS has to say.
The city is saying as well, so this would be interesting to see.
And in these breaking news moments, right, we only have what we have at the time.
Right.
And we, as we've been telling everybody, setting the scene of what happened, we know a 51-year-old man is dead from an altercation with federal.
Wait, hold on. She said, how old?
Everybody setting the scene of what happened. We know a 51-year-old man is dead from an altercation with federal agents, shot dead earlier this morning. DHS, in a statement to us, claims that this
Looks like the
person
mayor
Here we go.
Here. So we
Press
have
conference
Mayor Fry and
happening
the
now.
Police chief also on scene with information.
I'm going to turn it over to the chief to provide an update and
Here we go.
of the details based on the limited amount of information that we have thus far this morning, and then
Have
provide
mercy.
some comments myself. Chief.
My name is Brian O'Hara, B-R-I-A-N, O''H-A-R-A. I am the Minneapolis Police Chief. At approximately 9:03 a.m. this morning, Minneapolis police received the report of a shooting involving federal law enforcement in the area of East 26th Street and Nicollet Avenue on the south side of the city. Officers arrived and found an adult male with multiple gunshot wounds when they arrived. Life-saving aid was being rendered, and he was transported by ambulance to Hennepin County Medical Center, where he was later pronounced deceased. Based on the information that we have, which is very limited, this is a 37-year-old white male who is a Minneapolis resident.
37.
And we believe he is an American citizen.
He's 37,
We have
not 51.
Been told any official reports of what has led up to the shooting.
37.
But we have seen the video that is circulating on social media. Our demand today is for those federal agencies that are operating in our city to do so with the same discipline, humanity, and integrity that effective law enforcement in this country demands. We urge everyone to remain peaceful. We recognize that there's a lot of anger and a lot of questions around what has happened, but we need people to remain peaceful. In the area, we have an unlawful assembly at this time. Minneapolis police have given multiple warnings for the crowd to disperse. We are asking for people to avoid the area and to leave if you are there. We have requested mutual aid from the Minnesota State Patrol and from all our local and county regional partners. We ask everyone to remain calm and to please do not destroy our own city.
I just saw a video of more than 6 masked agents pummeling one of our constituents and shooting him to death. How many more residents, how many more Americans need to die or get badly hurt for this operation to end? How many more lives need to be lost before this administration realizes that a political and partisan narrative is not as important as American values? How many times must local and national leaders must plead with you, Donald Trump, to end this operation and recognize that this is not creating safety in our city? As you'll hear from Director Sayer in just a second, we have seen these kinds of operations in other places, in other countries, but not here in America. Not in a way where a great American city is being invaded by its own federal government. I'm done being told that our community members are responsible for the vitriol in our streets. I'm done being told that our local elected officials are solely responsible for turning down the temperature. Just yesterday, we saw 15,000 people peacefully protesting in the streets, speaking out, standing up for their neighbors. Not a single broken window, not a single injury. Those peaceful protests embody the very principles that both Minneapolis and America was founded upon. Conversely, the mass militarized force and unidentified agents who are occupying our streets, that is what weakens our country. That is what erodes trust in both law enforcement and in democracy itself. So to everyone listening, stand with Minneapolis. Stand up for America. Recognize that your children will ask you what side you were on. Your grandchildren will ask you what you did to act to prevent this from happening again. To make sure that the foundational elements of our democracy were rock solid. What did you do to protect your city? What did you do to protect your nation? This is not what America is about. This is not a partisan issue. This is an American issue. This administration and everyone involved in this operation should be reflecting. They should be reflecting right now and asking themselves, what exactly are you accomplishing? If the goal was to achieve peace and safety, this is doing exactly the opposite. If the goal was to achieve calm and prosperity, this is doing exactly the opposite. Are you standing up for American families right now? Or are we tearing them apart? The invasion of these heavily armed masked agents roaming around on our streets of Minneapolis, emboldened with a sense of impunity, it has to end. This is not how it has to be. So, to President Trump, this is a moment to act like a leader. Put Minneapolis, put America first in this moment. Let's achieve peace. Let's end this operation, and I'm telling you, our city will come back. Safety will be restored. We're asking for you to take action now to remove these federal agents. Director Sayer.
My name is Rachel Sayer, and I am the Director of the Emergency Management Department for the City of Minneapolis. I took this job to keep us safe because I live here, and this is my community. We are doing everything we can to mitigate the impacts of this terrible situation. The city's Emergency Operations Center continues to be activated, as it has throughout the surge in federal agents over the last few weeks. We are tracking impacts and coordinating the city's response to this situation, which is having profound repercussions in our community. I can't underscore enough how much Operation Metro Surge is impacting our city. Families with loved ones detained and those who are afraid to be in public lest they become targets need help accessing the most basic necessities like food, housing, and rides to school. Businesses are shuttering and our local economy is severely impacted, which means families are suffering just as we were rounding a corner in our recovery.
Wow.
Many of our Minneapolis residents, my neighbors, my friends, my community members, are ceasing participation in public life, afraid to even go to the doctor. In response, the city enterprise continues to utilize our entire emergency apparatus. That means staff across departments, often around the clock, are putting their regular jobs on hold in order to respond to the impacts of Metro Surge. I want everyone to know there are numerous resources available to community members right now. We have mental health help available. We have food assistance, housing and rental assistance, legal help. We are sharing information about what to do if you are exposed to tear gas, pepper spray, or other chemical agents. And the state AGs and ACLU are collecting reports of rights violations. You can access these resources on the city's virtual resource center at minneapolismn.gov/ICE. Please share this information with your neighbors. We have help and we want you to be able to access that. My background is in international humanitarian response in conflict zones in Yemen, Haiti, Syria, Iraq, and Ukraine. What I've seen here is what I've seen there. A powerful entity violently and intentionally terrorizing people, making them afraid to go outside so they can't earn a living, so that kids are forced out of school. This has a lasting generational impact. People can't plan a single day of their lives because they don't know who is around the corner and if their family member or neighbor is about to be taken away. In these times, you see both the best and the worst. The worst is the terror and the feeling of helplessness. The best will continue to be our community's response. The way we are showing up for each other, that is in the absolute worst of times. We're showing up for each other in the absolute worst of times. I'll turn it back to the mayor. Thank you.
We'll open it to questions. We are seeing an incredible volatile situation unfolding right now around that scene. Is there any communication right now between local and federal law enforcement or cooperation, or where do those efforts stand to try to calm what's going on down there right now?
I'll turn it to the chief to answer. So the question was, there is an incredibly volatile scene in South Minneapolis right now, and the extent of communication with law enforcement agencies. We've established a command post that is led by Minneapolis Police, and there are representatives from all of the regional, local, county, and state organizations. We have had communication with Homeland Security, but they have not been able to provide us any specific details around the incident itself. We are responsible for ensuring the safety of people on the streets of our city, and we are doing everything that we can to maintain the peace right now, led by Minneapolis Police, but with the help of the Minnesota State Patrol, Hennepin and Ramsey County Sheriffs. Several suburban towns are in the city helping us with 911 calls. We have done an emergency recall of all sworn personnel back to duty. And we are working with the fire department right now to ensure that 2 small fires that were started in the area are safely extinguished. But again, we need everyone to avoid the area if possible. And the people who are in the area, we understand your frustrations. This is not sustainable. But we need people to leave the area at this time.
Is the National Guard involved?
We have communicated with the National Guard. They have been on standby for several days. And we have ensured the National Guard, as well as all of the local law enforcement partners, are aware of the situation.
Chief and Mayor, if I can ask you, this is a statement from Tricia McLaughlin, spokesperson for DHS. She said in her statement, an individual approached U.S. Border Patrol officers with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun. Seen here, they showed a picture of it. The officers attempted to disarm the suspect, but the armed suspect violently resisted. More details on the armed struggle are forthcoming. Fearing for his life and the lives and safety of fellow officers, an agent fired defensive shots. Medics on the scene immediately delivered medical aid. Is that what happened?
Not true.
So Minneapolis police, the question was, you read a statement from DHS saying that a weapon was presented and there was attempts to disarm the person. Again, like I stated earlier, Minneapolis police, as well as our supervisors, our watch commander responded to the scene. We were not provided any public safety statement around the incident, what happened. We have since seen a video that is circulating online, like thousands of other people have at this time. So we do not know what happened prior to the recording that is online right now. I immediately called for the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension to respond, to conduct an investigation. They are on the scene. I believe the FBI is on the scene as well. But I think the video speaks for itself. What I can tell you is we have identified this person, 37-year-old white male, resident of the city. The only interaction that we are aware of with law enforcement has been for traffic tickets. And we believe he is a lawful gun owner with a permit to carry.
Chief, can you clarify, was MPD cut out of this investigation? Has the BCA been cut out like we've seen from the 2 previous shootings?
The question was, has MPD been cut out of the investigation and has the BCA been cut out? As I stated, I immediately requested the BCA to respond. It's my understanding that they are on the scene. I have not heard anything otherwise. There was initially some information was relayed to me over the radio that our officers were told that they were either not needed or could leave. And I gave a direct order to ensure that Minneapolis police maintain the scene as well as other state and local law enforcement.
Can you talk about the discrepancy? Do you know whether it was multiple officers involved in the shooting or one officer? And do you know their whereabouts? Are they in custody at all or still on the scene?
So the question was is there multiple officers involved in the shooting? That is the preliminary information. That is our understanding, that it was more than one law enforcement officer involved in the discharge. And again, there is public video that shows several law enforcement officers in a scuffle with someone.
Can you talk about the discrepancy? The initial reports said that the victim here was 51 years old. What the information that you have, where's that from?
So the question was, initial reports said the victim was 51. The information that I have is we sent Minneapolis police officers to the hospital with the individual who was shot, and they have since identified that person.
2 more questions.
Do you have a name of the individual who was shot?
I do, and I'm not releasing it.
Are you able to talk? Have you been able to talk with top ICE and Border Patrol officials to ask them to please be in on this, or have you talked to them, or have you been rejected?
The question was, have we talked with federal law enforcement to be in on this? We have had conversations with Homeland Security Investigations this morning. We are told they do not have any information to share at this time, but we will attempt to maintain those communications going forward.
Do you believe that?
Last question. Last question.
Do you believe that they have no information to share at this time?
The question was, do I believe that they have no information to share at this time? I don't know if the individual that we were in contact with would or not. This is a Saturday morning. And just like it was for us, it was a scramble to do an emergency recall and to get people to the scene.
All right. Thank you, guys. We'll have more information if we get any later throughout the day.
That was Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara and Mayor Jacob Fry talking to us about the incident. And Caroline, you were taking copious notes here.
Yeah.
The mayor was very succinct about what he said and what he wants President Trump to do.
Yes, he said to President Trump, quote, this is a moment to act like a leader. Let's achieve peace. He claimed that these officers who have been, of course, 3,000 of them, as we've been reporting in this operation, have been, quote, emboldened with a sense of impunity. I think what stuck out to me the most was to what extent Minneapolis police have information from the federal government. We heard our Esme Murphy ask the question. DHS says that this man approached officers with a gun. O'Hara says we were not provided any statement.
That's a lie.
We've only seen the video, so we don't know what
That's a
happened
lie.
before that altercation. And
I'm pausing it right there. That's a freaking lie. You don't believe me? Let me show you what I mean. let's get into it. Welcome to 1776-911. Whoop whoop. Let's take a look at this, okay? Because we got some other footage here. First off, let me show you the photo that is now starting to circulate throughout the internets real quick, okay? I just want you guys to see something. All right. There's definitely an altercation with this 37-year-old white American citizen, but he's holding a phone. Yeah, he's holding a mother-loving phone. So I'm wondering, he's filming this, guys. So I'm wondering if any of this stuff is going to actually be, if we're actually going to see his POV before he lost his life. You know, his point of view camera, his iPhone that he was filming off of. That's not a weapon. That's not a pew-pew. So whatever Tricia McLaughlin is saying out here is a lie. She said, oh, yeah, you know, he approached them with a weapon and they feared for their life. Therefore, they discharged. Interesting, right? Interesting, right? Interesting, right? Hold on. No. See, here's the thing. If it was an FAFO kind of situation, play stupid games, win stupid prizes situation, I'd sit here and say that all day long. I'd be like, well, it looks like he was a dumbass and he did what he did. You know, 1776, 911, whoop, whoop, right? But that's not the case. Hold on. I want to repeat what the newscaster just said. I want you to hear that one more time.
Federal government. We heard our Esme Murphy ask the question. DHS says that this man approached officers with a gun. O'Hara says we were not provided.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that BS? Did you hear that BS? This is the problem. They are lying. That is a lie. That is a lie. That is a lie. Hold on, because they're saying DH. You gotta say it one more time. One more again.
That's the question. DHS says that this man approached officers with a gun. O'Hara says we were not provided any statement. We've only seen the video, so we don't know what happened before.
Huh? Hold on. Let me. Okay, so they did a very brief questions, right? They did very, very brief questions. I want to go back to that because, you know, I even reacted to that. I was like, that is a bold-faced lie. Oh, my God. Who's saying that out here? DHS is saying that that's what happened. Hold on.
We have established a command post that is local communication and responsible for ensuring this and to maintain the peace right now. Hennepin and Ramsey done an emergency.
Now I gotta find
working safely extinguished. Possible. And the people who are in the, but we need people to leave the area at this time.
Is the National Guard involved?
We have communicated with the Nationals. All of the local law enforcement partners are aware of the situation.
Chief and Mayor, if I can ask you, this is a statement from Tricia McLaughlin,
right here,
spokesperson for DHS. She said in her statement, an individual approached U.S. Border Patrol officers with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun. Seen here, they showed a picture of it. The officers attempted to disarm the suspect, but the armed suspect violently resisted. More details on the armed struggle are forthcoming.
Let me hold on. Let me just roll that back one more time. Okay. Let's hear that. Let's hear that statement one more time. Okay. This is exactly why there are people out there in the streets mad as hell right now. Not only just because this particular person lost his life in the way that he lost his life, but because of information like this that is not correct. It is false.
For DHS. She said in her statement, an individual approached U.S. Border Patrol officers with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun. Seen here, they showed a picture of it. The officers attempted to disarm the suspect, but the armed suspect violently resisted.
Now, I get the part at the end, the violently resisting. Yeah, there's a scuffle. That part is true. But his weapon was not pulled out. Hold on. Let me show you again. Does this look like a weapon to you? Does that look like a weapon to you? Last I checked, it is a man holding a phone. That don't look like a pew-pew. Oh, that most definitely does not, I repeat, does not look like a weapon to me. Maybe somebody else in another world thinks that this is a weapon, but this is not a weapon. That is a phone. Last I checked, that's what phones look like, right? So the DHS is lying. Or ICE is giving them information and it's going all the way up to the top, and they're just repeating whatever the hell these ICE agents are saying. You saw, oh, here's the other piece of information. This is also very important to just put this bee in your bonnet, okay? Let it soak in real quick. If he actually withdrew that weapon at any time, why would the ICE agent in the gray jacket run over and grab the weapon from his waistband? If he had already withdrew the weapon would have been on the ground, or he would have been iced by then. They would have been, brah, gun, brah, 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 while he's standing up on his own 2 feet. But that did not happen. This is a lie. The DHS is lying to the general public right now. And what's sad is that somebody out here is going to believe that trash that they just said. Spokesperson for the DHS, by the way, not Kristi Noem, Tricia McLaughlin. Okay, McLaughlin, Scottish. Now she's saying that this man withdrew his weapon, and they were fearful for their lives. That's why they had to neutralize this particular American citizen who owned his gun legally. Wild. Hold on. Because there's new footage. You heard it. I'm just repeating what they said. That DHS spokesperson Tricia McLaughlin said verbatim. And I played it 3 different times. 4 different times if I'm correct. All right? But wow. This is nuts. Because we got another video leading up to his demise. Let's take a look at this, shall we? Let's take a look at this. So this is from Midas Touch, but they said a new video appears to show moments leading up to the fatal shooting by federal agents in Minneapolis, with the individual appearing to simply record on his phone as agents escalated the situation. Now, we don't know what kind of dialogue is being said back and forth. He could just be saying what everybody else basically has been saying to every single ICE agent that is out there. They're basically saying F you and F ICE. He could very well be saying that. You know, he could be like, you know, you must be ashamed, your mother must be ashamed, or whatever the hell it is. But that doesn't garner someone losing their life. But let's take a look at this. Okay. Interesting.
Things got buried.
You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, I don't know your windows. No, you're spraying inside.
Do you see so far anyone holding a weapon? He is holding a phone. I don't mean to stop it because it starts to pan off away from the situation. Okay. So leading up to here, let me just play this one more time. I'm going to mute it. Okay. Because we don't hear the dialogue. We don't need to hear the dialogue. Just look at the body language. He is holding a phone. He is holding his phone like this. And that's all he's doing. He's just holding his phone and he's talking to him. That's it. He's just holding his phone like this. He doesn't have any weapons in his hands. And if he did, by the way, he would be using his right hand to pull out the weapon. Why, you may ask? Because the weapon is on the right side of his waistband, on his dominant hand, his dominant side. He's a right-handed man. So you can't even tell me, oh yeah, he had the phone in one hand and he pulled the weapon with his left hand. No. He did not. He did not. We got to look at these facts, guys. Now, of course, we don't see seconds before what we saw later, okay? Him losing his life and the scuffle and whatnot. We don't see the seconds before that. But why would he brandish his weapon, then holster his weapon? No. If he brandished his weapon at that moment, there would not be a scuffle on the ground. They would have lit that dude up without question. Most of these guys, from what we're seeing right now, doesn't it give you the vibe that they're a little trigger happy? They got an itchy trigger finger? Don't you think that? So if he was to brandish the weapon and be like this, F you, ICE, like, don't touch me, and he pulls out the weapon, they're going to be like, gun, 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 blah, 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 blah. He'd be on the ground in seconds. There would not be a scuffle like it was. Then you got the guy in the gray jacket walking over there, grabbing the weapon from the right side of his waistband, pulling it out, and then that's when they said, gun, 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 and then they laid into him. Come on, guys. Let's stick with the facts. Look at this video again. You tell me if the DHS is telling the mother-loving truth to the general public right now. Now, I tell you what, they are not. Okay? They are not. He did not brandish a weapon. Look. Phone still in his hand. Then you have the scuffle. Let's go back over there. So seconds later, you have the scuffle. Let's take a look at that one more time. Not the full thing, but you can see for yourself. Look. Oh, shoot. I didn't mean to do that. You can see for yourself. I'm not going to play the audio because we don't need to hear it. Look. Seconds later, scuffle. Scuffle. Where's the weapon in his hand? Guy in gray jacket, rifles through his side, finally gets his hands on it, then runs off. Bang. That's it. We could stop right there. You see what I'm saying? So for those of y'all who are sitting here saying FO, FAFO, and sitting here saying like, this is what he got it, what he deserved. I think different. I beg to differ. This man lost his life unjustifiably. Could very well be a misunderstanding. It can be. That's what I think it is. I think it's fully a misunderstanding. But these are the kind of misunderstandings that shouldn't be happening if there's proper training within these ICE agents. I said it. You see it right there. That man walked over. That guy in that gray jacket walked over. He did not have any weapons in his hand. You saw him yank the gun out of his waistband, out of the victim's waistband. And then they said, gun, gun, gun. And then he ran off and bow. One time, dude was on the ground. He did not have a weapon on him. He did not. And then as they're backing away, one other guy just continues to pull the trigger 4 to 5 different times. The man was probably already dead before the second shot was fired. This man was holding a phone, not a gun. And we just heard DHS come with not full facts. This is what we're dealing with, guys. And if you can't see the mess up and the disconnection of communication and willingness to do their due diligence, then I don't know what to tell you. But to me, this is blatantly ICE telling DHS a completely different story. But thank God that we have video. Thank God we have video. Because we would have to just take their word for it. So again, what else is new? Now you're going to see out here in these streets, people losing their doggone minds because ICE does not have the proper training that they rightfully should be having. They are asking for more funding. They're asking for more money for ICE. Why? They only want to put more guys out there. That's it. Rather than them saying, hey, the reason why we need more money and more funding is so that we can train these guys properly. But they're not doing that. They're picking up anybody and anyone that's willing to wear the ICE brand and are willing to cover their face and get paid 6 figures a year. That's literally what we're seeing here, guys. That's what we're seeing. Something like this should not have happened. And if this was 5-0, if this was police, this would be the same. I would have the same reaction. But here's the thing. Most cops, all cops, go through a vetting process, and they go through a very vigorous training before they ever set foot on the streets. These guys, they get 47 days, and they shove a weapon in their hand and a can of mace, and they say, go get them, buddy. America. That's not good. You know, this reminds me of this movie. It's crazy. I know this is so random. But do you remember Tomorrow Day? Has anybody seen that movie? Tomorrow Day? I think it's called Tomorrow Day with Chris Pratt. It's like on Amazon Prime. And like the future comes to the past, or present day, our present day. And they're like, yo, these aliens come over. They're aliens taking over our world. And we need as many of you guys from the past, you know, to help us save the future. Right. And the whole vetting or training process for these people before they're shoved into the future to fight these aliens, right? And then time travel back into the present. They're literally just like trained like a few days and given a weapon, and they're just like, good luck, good on you. That's kind of the same situation that I'm feeling about with this ICE situation. Like, they're just like, well, we need as many as we can. So here you go. You know, we're going to make it really attractive for you to want to have a part in this job. $50,000 signing bonus, 6-figure a year salary, 47 days of training. We're going to shove a can of mace and some weapons on you, and you get to go be a badass out here in these streets. Go on. Fight for our country. Get those bad guys. What's so sad about it is that what's going on here? Lack of training turns into catastrophic situations like this right here. Guys that don't know how to keep their cool. Tomorrow War. Thank you. The Tomorrow War. That's what I meant. Tomorrow Day. You know what I mean? The Tomorrow War. Yes. Great movie. Fantastic movie. Action-packed as hell, right? But again, you look at the situation. Really crappy vetting process. Really crappy training. Turns into catastrophic situations like this. You got people who are roided up, who got mommy issues, who have anger issues, incels, etc., that just feel mad about whatever the hell it is, you know what I mean, that want to take out their aggression on people like that are protesting. What do you think is going to happen? It's a recipe for disaster, everybody. It is a recipe for disaster. Now you got protests going on out here in these streets, people very angry, people very pissed off. And when they see the full video and they hear what the DHS, at least their spokesperson, is saying right now, it's only going to enrage even more people because it's clearly a cover-up. Now it's a cover-up. You look at that video. You take a look at both all those videos again. You tell me if the DHS is telling the truth. And then I'll say this too. Try to tell that to all the angry protesters that are out there in the streets that also saw the video, that actually know the truth. DHS is wrong for this one, y'all. Hey, let me tell you, I'd be the first one to sit here and say, hey, DHS, well, that's what happened. That is true. He brandished a weapon. He did this, that, and the third. Word. Yeah, he got what was coming for him. I'd be the first one to say that. But this situation, nah. Especially hearing it from DHS. That is a very, very one-sided and extremely biased breakdown of what happened without them doing their proper due diligence. That's them just siding with ICE because they want ICE to look like they could do no wrong. This situation, they did wrong. They need to take accountability for this, or the streets are going to lose their freaking marbles. Anyway, guys, that is the show. I'll be back later on because it's only going to get crazier out here in these streets. Let me just say this really quick. Please, let's be nice to each other out here in these streets. I know there's a lot of differing opinions out here. I know the world is absolutely divided, but this situation where this man lost his life, he did not deserve to lose his life. I'm sorry. He didn't. Sure, there was not a need for a scuffle at all. Maybe the guy didn't even need to be in that scuffle with ICE at all. What if it was ICE that just picked a fight on a guy who was just talking, and it just made that ICE agent get upset? You know, maybe he said something that pissed him off, and he's like, you know what? Today you picked the right one. Maybe that's the situation, but that does not deserve someone losing their life. In fact, words shouldn't mean a person should be getting arrested either. The man was holding a phone, not a weapon, and was talking ish to ICE. He should still be on this planet. We don't know if he's a father. We don't know anything about this guy yet. In fact, before I end the show, let me just check to see if they have said if there's been any identification, if they've ID'd this man. But so far, we haven't heard, nope, nothing so far. But trust me, it is absolutely insane. ICE is wrong for this one, y'all. 100% wrong for this one. And I feel like it's a misunderstanding, but that misunderstanding, that is a fatal misunderstanding. And then to add insult to injury, to throw salt, Tabasco sauce, and a shot of tequila into a very big open wound, you got DHS telling us a completely different story than what actually has been seen on countless videos. It's terrible, guys. It's going to be a long day, and it's most definitely going to be a long-ass night. And actually, I forgot. I got to go through these super chats. Let me get through these really quick. I am so sorry, guys. Let me just get these. Okay, welcome to the family. Thank you so much, C7. Welcome. Emily, thank you so much for being a member for the past 17 months. Hope everyone is warm and safe in the path of this winter blast. Yes, it is absolutely crazy out here. Have you guys seen the grocery stores are just, they're getting ransacked. I just did a video, went to the grocery store first thing this morning just to get, a few things, and empty. Things are emptying out quick, okay? No more meat, no more milk, no more even cheese. Like, damn, how much cheese do you need? You feel me? But anyway, check it out. I did it as a short. General Genobi, what's up? Thank you so much. These people clearly are not trained for de-escalation. That's the problem. That was 10 shots fired. And if you are counting that right, that's insane. I'm going to have to listen to it off, when I get done with the show, how many times he actually got, that this guy pulled the trigger. But yeah, it's definitely more than two, definitely more than one for show. Thank you so much. Emmy Kate, thank you so much for becoming a member. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. And just like Emmy Kate, please consider becoming a member by hitting that join button down below. That'd be greatly appreciated. Fly Girl, thank you so much for the love and being a member for the past 21 months. Justice for All 2026. Yes. Thank you, Pascal. Of course, thank you for watching. It really does mean a lot. Deb, thank you so much for being a member for the past 14 months. I appreciate you. I'm in the UK. I know there are many people over here watching Minnesota/Minneapolis. Bring back community, more of us, human rights. Yes, we definitely need a lot right now. We need a lot of peace and we need a lot of love right now. And I know that sounds really cheesy, but that's the mother loving truth. Ride, thank you so much. What's up? Body cams. That's all. Exactly. Body cams. You want more money, ICE? DHS? You want more money for your ICE agents? Put it towards body cams. Put it towards training. Quit putting these cowboys out here in these streets because some more people are going to lose their lives. You think that this is going to stop protesters from showing up suited and booted? More are going to show up now like this. More. And they're going to have them out. Open and carry. Okay? You can have open and carry in Minnesota. Wait for it, guys. This is not good. This is not good. This is when everything goes down the drain fast. Mrs. Steelers, thank you so much for the love. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for being a member for the past 44 months. Damn, thank you so much. Thank you for the coverage. This is vile, and anyone who supports this is a terrorist supporter. Sending love to Pascal, family, and chat. Thank you so much. Sending love to you as well. You know, like I said, you know, I think that there is a necessity for ICE to exist, but not like this. Not like this at all. Madeline, thank you so much for the love and being a member for 57 months. Damn, thank you. Ice melts eventually, and the American people need to see it. As a veteran, I'm extremely disturbed and embarrassed to be an American. I think we're all feeling that pain right now. I think we're all feeling really sad right now. All of us. Doesn't matter if it's FAFO or F-ICE. I think everybody is feeling something right now. Michelle Woods, thank you so much for the love. Now I understand why I had a dream of Stephen Miller, Dr. Evil, the other day. He looks like Ed Kowalczyk, lead singer of Live. Wow. Okay, I love Live and their music. That's what's up. That's what's up. What is it, Live? I can't think of Live right now. I feel like I know him, but maybe I don't. But moving on. Cyber, thank you so much for the love. Why doesn't ICE use tasers to de-escalate and stop the person rather than brute force and violence? That's the question I'd like to know too. You know, you'd think that the amount of flashbangs, gas, grenades or whatever you call them, and mace that they have, right? You'd think that they would have tasers too. But I've never seen them use tasers. Not once, not yet. Or why didn't they use mace on the guy? Psst, and just be done. He was stopped dead in his tracks. You see what I'm saying? But now it's a woulda, coulda, shoulda, right? It's unfortunate. Madeline, again, thank you so much. For once, I feel like Americans are in need of help from our enemies or our allies right now. I'm sorry, enemies. Soon to be enemies, though. This is gross. Yes, this is gross. I agree. No, soon to be our allies are soon going to turn into our enemies. I don't think you noticed that. Trump is now starting beefs with everybody, even Canada, the most welcoming, most polite country in the world. And now he's starting ish with the likes of Canada. I'm sorry, that's facts. That's not me being like, oh, I hate Trump. That's facts. He's even starting beefs with Canada. Like I said, there's so much going on, and we ain't got time to talk about it right now, unfortunately. Okay, guys? Oh, there's so much craziness going on. Allie, thank you so much for the love. Liabilities all around. Yes, there's a lot of liabilities right now, especially with this situation. Liabilities like a mug. Okay, Random, thank you so much for the love for the super sticker. I really do appreciate it. Ree, thank you so much. Liabilities alert, liabilities alert. Yep, liabilities like a mug. Okay. Yeah, they took a DNA test, found out that they have liabilities. Okay, straight up liabilities. No Joy here. Thank you so much for being a member for the past 14 months. I appreciate it. The whole administration is full of criminals and liars. That's what we're seeing right now, are we not? Okay, we've been seeing it, though. Epstein on. It's not good. It's not good. HR, thank you so much for the love. I appreciate it. Did the suspect approach officers with a weapon? No, did not. Love the still. I see your avatar, Apocalypse Now. Great movie. Yeah, he did not approach them with a weapon. Not at all. I've heard the victim did have a weapon. He did, but it was concealed. Yep. Not sure. It's sad, man. Yeah. So he had the weapon. He did not brandish it. It was on his, he had it as his sidearm. Okay. It was on his waistband. There's footage. If you scroll back, I kind of went through a slow-mo showing this other ICE officer walking over and grabbing the weapon from his waistband. So if they actually showed him brandishing, if he actually brandished the weapon from the get-go, then that man would have been neutralized like that, there would not be a scuffle. They would have said gun, 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 and they would have shot him right there. They would have lit him up right then and there. So that is not true at all. And there's footage of him holding a phone like this, holding the phone like this as he's filming and talking to to ICE. That's it. He's talking to ICE. Then they start to shove him back onto the sidewalk. And I don't know what happened after that, but it was seconds later. That's when the scuffle went down. All ICE agents are on top of this guy, this 37-year-old white American citizen. The guy in the gray jacket walks over, gets the weapon. Somebody must have seen the weapon get pulled and thought it was the 37-year-old white American citizen. They started yelling, gun, gun, gun. And then they shot him like a multitude of times. Shoot, they practically emptied a whole clip into that man's body. So again, guys, this is all sad, all very, very messed up. And now people are pissed. And I get it. I can totally see why people are pissed. But here's the thing. Everyone needs to chill out. Everyone. If you're going to protest out here in these streets, if you're going to demonstrate out here in these streets, please be sure to demonstrate peacefully. But you already know, this guy lost his life. There's already dumpster fires happening in this dumpster fire of a situation. So get ready, guys. It's going to be a crazy, crazy weekend. We already know. All right? Damn, man. Rest in peace. Thank you so much for the super chat. Yes, may that guy rest in peace, okay? He should not have lost his life. That's what I truly think, okay? Unless, like I said, unless he had another piece on him, but it doesn't look like he did. So let's see what happens, guys. Yeah, I'm wondering what the T2A community is going to say about this too. Let's be real. Let's be real. He had a permit. He had every right to have that weapon and conceal that weapon and open carry. He could have had it out straight up on his waist just for everyone to see. He had every right to have that. That was his legal right. American citizen, American, white, 37 years old male. That was not fighting. He was using his phone and filming. I'm wondering if that video will ever see the light of day or if an ICE agent deleted it. You never know. We'll see what happens. But that is the show. I appreciate all the super chats. Thank you so much for the support. I'll be back on a little bit later on this evening or a little bit later on this like early evening time, okay, to do some coverage of what's going on because it's absolutely crazy. All right. I'm going to keep an eye out on everything for you guys. As things continue to develop, we will talk about it here on The Pascal Show. So do me a favor. Do me a solid. Don't forget to hit that like button down below. Crush it, do what it do. Hit that reaction button if you're watching on these other platforms. If you are watching on these other platforms like Facebook, X/, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Rumble, Twitch, Kick, I'm on all of them. Make sure you hit that follow button. Follow. All right? Hit that subscribe button here on my YouTube channel. We talk about a lot of things. It's just been a lot of craziness going on in Minneapolis, so we've been covering that, okay? But we talk about everything on this platform, so make sure you're subscribed, all right? Check out my second channel, The Pascal Show Clips. Subscribe over there too, please and thank you. That would greatly be appreciated, all right? Hit that join button down below. Become a member. Support if you can, like some of you guys just did today. Welcome to the family, all of you new members, okay? Check out my Patreon if you want to support even further. And check out PascalMerch.com. PascalMerch.com. We got some really great stuff over there. PascalMerch.com. For those of y'all who are in the wake or in the path of this winter blast, please be safe out there, okay? I'm praying for everybody. I hope everyone has a very safe rest of the day. But this snow is coming in and coming in hard. So stay safe out there. Stay warm. And I'll let you guys know what's going down when things start going down, when more things start going down. Anyway, guys, it's time to get going. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. Remember that. Talk to you guys soon. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.